Hello, space weirdos, and welcome to Roleplay Nebula Jazz, episode number 14. Don't look at me like that, Jesse. You're the space weirdoest of them all.
Agreed.
We know you are.
What?
I'm a slime monster, and I'm super normal compared to you.
That's true. You know what? Let's begin there. Jesse, how's your quest to get married to Breadface going?
Well, I forgot about Breadface. So.
Oh, the fickle love of a space weirdo. Oh
yeah, I moved on very quickly. I forgot she existed.
It was a fleeting obsession, and now it's gone.
Yeah, now it's gone. I'm a very fickle man. I flutter from one fanciful flight to another. What can I say?
A flash in the pan of your heart.
Yeah.
So what do you? I mean, what do you love now, Jesse? What's replaced the Breadface then?
What I love at the moment is the fact that today the internet has lost its mind over the fact that the girl from the AT&T commercials is going to be Squirrel Girl, and so I just think that's funny. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Because
interesting.
Because
the way the internet
the way the internet sees that is they see all of her Instagram photos where she's like posing sexy and like Instagram photoing, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how they're like, oh, she's so hot. But to me, she's the AT&T girl selling phones to Gordon Ramsay, or like to weird guys who are like, hi, I need a phone. And so just look her up. She's been in every AT&T commercial for years. Yeah, she's super cute.
Originally, I thought that you meant the progressive girl, and
that's
I was
like, that's exactly what I thought.
You thought it was Flo? No, yeah. No. Flo will always be Flo unless she's replaced by a talking gecko,
Glow,
or
the female wrestler.
I'm here to sell you auto insurance, baby. Yeah. I'd watch that. That sounds like a great commercial.
Yeah, me too.
And now I'm in love again. Now I'm in love with something else. Fluttered over there.
Yeah. Yes, to be Jesse, wandering from one beloved thing to another. Well, that's good. I'm excited about that Squirrel Girl business too. I've read a few of the comics. I'm not a big like whatever they call people who are fans of Squirrel Girl, but I feel like I've dipped my toe in that universe a little. It's pretty cool. It's good stuff.
Yeah, no, it just led me on a fun adventure today where I went from Squirrel Girl to old Paula Abdul videos, and I posted my favorite, which, as you know, is Opposites Attract, which is about a woman falling in love with a cartoon cat and then singing about their complicated relationship. Go watch the video. It may be the best video from the 90s. Paula Abdul dancing with a cartoon cat.
Can I
better than that?
Can I ask you your opinion about a film that might then similarly tickle your fancy?
Yes.
How did you feel about Cool World?
I love Cool World.
Cool World?
I was obsessed with that movie when I was younger.
Cool World is terrible.
It's bad, but I loved it when I was a kid.
I mean, if you're like a 13-year-old boy and you see a cartoon girl come to life, that's pretty hot. But like, it's not a good movie. That's a terrible film. That's a terrible, terrible film. There's nothing cool or world about that movie.
Isn't Brad Pitt in that? Is that a Brad Pitt movie?
I think he's a detective. I think.
Yeah. It's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but like a little fuckier. Like it's not.
Yeah. It's like the intentionally dirtier version. Like, how can we make the subtle tones of dirtiness that was in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like, just plaster it all over the movie? That's what we want. Yeah.
Straight up tries to bone him. Like
she does, and that's how she becomes human. It's weird. Yeah. It's a weird movie. It's not good. It's not a good film. Not at all.
No, that's
not at all. No.
Cool.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I just had that pop into my head. That's something else. Yeah, I haven't seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit in a really long time, and I feel like I'm saying this I say this a lot. Yeah, Bob Hoskins is the human in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's basically just Chinatown, but with like a rabbit, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah. Except with the twist at the end, which would have been really weird for a Disney movie. That would have been a weird twist for a Disney movie.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Betty Boop is the best cameo in that movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Man, I gotta remember to watch that. It keeps coming up, and I'm like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I always remember because in the Nintendo game of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, in the game you would get a phone number that you would call in game, but it was a real phone number, and when you called, there was this kind of like badly recorded like Jessica Rabbit like sexy voice thing that you could listen to, and it was only active for like whatever, like less than a year. Yeah, and there was this phone number, and then they were like, yeah, this is a bad idea. We shouldn't put real phone numbers in video games anymore. It's like a bad call. But that's the thing that always pops into my head, and I've been thinking about Who Framed Roger. Yeah.
Daffy and Donald dueling pianos. It was great. It did everything.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Brooke, I was playing a game that I heard you played. I want to get your opinion on it.
Yes.
I played Dead Cells the other day.
Yeah.
Did you were digging it?
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, I like it too. It's not as hard as I expected, but it was fun.
Yeah, they're with the most recent update, I guess they tried to like scale the difficulty a bit more.
So you played it when it was hard, and I played it now for babies in easy mode.
Yeah. Damn.
No, I mean that makes fine. That makes sense.
Well, a lot of people have been saying like, yeah, it's really fun, really responsive. It feels really nice to play, but you quickly become so powerful that it's not as difficult, right? Like because it has this progression system inside of it that makes it so that you can make weapons just permanently better. Yeah. Right. So eventually you get to a point where no matter what weapon you pick up, you're like doing much more damage than you did at the beginning. So, yeah, I've talked about that a bit because I can't tell if it's, I'm getting better at this game. Like I understand all of the monsters so much better. I know the patterns. So I'm just doing better because of that. Right. Or if it's, before this took 3 hits and now it takes 2 and it's much easier for me to play fast and loose, right? Like it's hard to tell.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. The difficulty curve is a bit funny compared to the curve of like the game. Yeah, your character improving. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I was impressed, and maybe this is a patch thing, but I was impressed by how little it felt like an early access game. Like it felt pretty polished. When I played it, which was cool. And obviously, like, I'm a big Castlevania fan. I liked Metroid. Ooh, speaking of which, has anybody, and maybe this is just going to fall flat if nobody's seen it, has anybody watched the Castlevania thing on Netflix yet?
Yes.
Yeah, we've all seen it. It's amazing.
Okay, can we talk about it? So I watched the first 10 minutes and I was like, no, fuck this. So please, did I miss something? Does it get better?
I did.
Whoa, really? You shut it off after 10 minutes?
I couldn't handle it.
Shut it off?
It just felt like really cringy. Like it felt like Ninja Scroll. And I was like, oh, the animation. I just I'm not about it. I don't know. Like I'll go back and I'll watch it again. Maybe I was just in a bad mood, but I couldn't, the dialogue was terrible. It felt like really overwrought. Dracula seemed like an idiot. I don't know. It was hard.
I thought the dialogue was amazing.
Yeah, we really liked it.
The voice acting's like primo.
That's so weird.
Aside from main dude, his voice acting in the first episode is really suspect for me. But
it felt a little it just felt like a bad '90s dub of like a kind of not very well animated.
Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
The first episode is definitely the weakest of the 4.
I really wanted to watch it in Japanese to see if it was better, but then there isn't such a thing. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be better in Japanese.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's like such a Western theme, and it just suits a Western voice acting cast. I think. I don't think Cosmo would make sense if it was in Japanese to me at all. I liked the English accents and the country bumpkins and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the English accents are Sam approved for what that's worth to the viewers.
They got the dialect. Great.
That's good. Yeah, see, I really want to love it. I want to like it because I like Castlevania as a thing so much and that genre and whatever. But yeah, the animation didn't hit me and the voice acting. But again, I didn't even get to the Castlevania bit. It was just the woman coming into the castle and then the two of them kind of jerking each other off for 10 minutes. And I was like, hey, I don't know.
Wait, that's as far as you got?
That's as far as you got?
Felt like a handle. I was hey.
You gotta keep going.
Yeah. All right. So it deserves more than 10 minutes of my time. I'll try. I'll try again. It's good to know that it's not totally terrible.
They've confirmed another 8 episodes as well. So.
Yeah, how many? It's the full season, and how long is it? It's
only
4 episodes. Right, it's 2 hours long.
Oh, interesting.
It's like a movie.
Yeah. So I have faith, Adam, that you could plop down for 2 hours and get it.
It gets gnarly. It gets real fucking gnarly.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It gets real Castlevania-y.
I believe you. As long as some fucking torches get whipped with a chain and some hearts fall out, I'm good. Somebody jumps up and down. There's a little man that bounces after somebody else.
There's a point where the like more anime look just falls away and we go to a really retro feel. So you'll love that.
Good. Yeah, a lot of floating heads chasing after somebody.
Yeah. Good. A big dialogue box shows up.
Nice.
Talks about the curse. It's great. Yeah.
Speaking of Netflix shows, you guys should all watch Terrace House.
Yes, please. Please, can we get more people to watch Terrace House?
So
Terrace
for those
House?
of you who
What's
don't
this
know,
about? Yeah, please.
Terrace House is a Japanese reality show where they put people in a house like Big Brother, but everyone is extremely polite, well-mannered, and pleasant, and all their conflicts are immediately resolved. And it's just like they're just living a nice little life in Tokyo in a house together.
Yeah, they're all able to keep going to school. They keep going to work. They can hang out with their family. They all get to keep their phones. Like, it's super chill. And it's obvious that it's airing at the same time that they're filming it, because sometimes they'll be out and about and somebody will be like, oh shit, I watched Terrace House. What's up, dude? It's like Sam and I are kind of addicted to it.
It's amazing.
It's really sweet.
Think like every shitty reality show we have in America where like people just go in a house and blow up and throw plates. And then think about like the Japanese version where they're all like really nice to each other and one person makes dinner and then another person does the washing up and they'll talk about their problems. It's just incredible.
It's really cool also because it does the very Japanese thing of having like a panel. You know, when you see like clips of a Japanese game show or something and there's always the panel of people who are watching it that comment on it. That they have a panel of Japanese actors that sort of like intro the show every episode, and every now and then they'll pause the show and like comment on what's going on. And as a Western viewer, it's really nice because you get to see how they're perceiving things and like culturally how they feel about the way that people are acting in the house and like how things. Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's really fun to watch.
There you go.
So everybody should watch it.
Terrace House.
There's Terrace House, Boys and Girls in the City, and that one takes place in Tokyo. And there's Terrace House, Aloha State, and that one's in Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
And the Aloha State one is like a mix of Japanese and English, which is also very interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting. Look at that. Yeah. There you go.
It's on Netflix. Netflix brought it back to life. It was an old Japanese show that died, and then Netflix was like, what if we made this again and gave it to the world? So now you can watch it.
I have a question, and this is for everybody, but mainly Dodger. I imagine this is probably a question for you. 2 words: Dream Daddy. Thoughts, feelings? Anybody gonna play that?
I can't wait to play that game.
Oh, I'm so excited too.
I can't wait to play that game.
No fame for Dream Daddy for anybody else. Jesse, you don't want to
look.
You don't dad it up.
Of course, I'm gonna play it. What kind of fool would not play this game? My dream, though, is that they're smart. And deep down inside this game, this happy-go-lucky game about daddies finding daddies, is some crazy shit like Cthulhu monsters and like something dark hidden there. Look, Grumps! Look, if Vernon's involved, there's going to be like something horrific in this. I know it.
Vernon thought of this concept like 2 years ago, and he was like talking to me about it. And I was like, yeah, this is definitely what it is. When they were like, we've got a game to announce. But yeah, it's definitely going to get weird. I'm telling you,
there's going to be something weird in there. And everyone's just like, oh, it's about daddies. Nope. There's going to be like...
Apparently Jared helped with it too. So it's definitely... There's going to be something.
And he said he helped with the daddy that is the nicest of daddies, which to me means he's going to be like...
the church daddy, right? He wrote church daddy.
Welcome to my church. And it's going to be like tentacle beasts. And I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm going to go down that path just to experience that.
Right, so you're looking for like Darkest Dungeon meets Darkest Dream Daddy Dungeon.
There's going to be like a Dagon goof in
Dream
there
Daddy
at
and the
very
dungeon.
least.
Yeah, Darkest Daddy.
You know, it's just like a Tapu boyfriend when it's like, oh, they're pigeon boys. That's cute. No, this is dark. This is dark and twisted, and there's a real ending here. Yup, that's what I'm hoping for. So I'll reserve judgment in case it really is just about love, in which case, boring. Stupid and boring.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I could see both ways being interesting. I'm just really excited that this is a thing that everybody on the internet has just kind of like clustered around, this weird like dad dating simulator thing. I'm fascinated. I love it when the internet gets all on board to a weird thing. And so good. Has anybody seen, speaking of weird internet things, has anybody seen the football in the future, that 17776 thing? Is this a thing that's on anybody else's radar?
What? Wait,
Okay.
You can't say football in the future 1776. None of what you said makes sense.
Right,
Literally, none of what you said made sense.
Okay, so there's a website, SB Nation, SBNation.com, and they posted a thing that is it started off as like what football will look like in the future, and it turns into this like weird like fiction website multimedia thing set 15,000 years in the future. It's super surreal. You should definitely check it out.
I'm on there right now. What?
Yeah,
is happening?
So it's crazy. And they update it every
Wait, what
like
the fuck
two
is
times a
going
week.
on?
Thank you.
What the fuck is going on? Wait, what the fuck?
Wait, what am I looking up?
What is happening? Please answer. Please answer. What's going on?
Wait, what am I looking up? What am I looking up right now?
It's like it's not really like an ARG exactly. It's like it's just this weird fiction thing. And it just keeps unfolding in this kind of like weird new media way. The more you read it. And so if you're into that kind of like surrealist postmodern multimedia thing that happens to be about the future of American football, kind of, go check it out. It's messed up.
Shit is this?
Yeah. So that was.
What is this?
Oh my god, this story is so bizarre. What is happening? I am already in July of 46 right now, and this is so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. There's your new internet distraction. SBNation.com. Look up that 17776 jam. Some friends of mine turned me onto that this weekend at the con that I was at, and they were just talking about it the whole time. I love this stuff. This is like right in my wheelhouse. I love this like super surreal, like kind of post Adult Swim surrealism. It kind of reminds me of like too many cooks in a way, where you're just kind of like, oh, this is intro. What the hell am I looking at? So there you go. You're welcome, internet. You just go ahead and just dig into that bad boy. Pokket, what you been up to? You were at a thing this weekend, right?
Oh, I was at RTX for a little bit, and then I actually the next day got food poisoning. Yay!
Oh.
But I've been working on cosplay a lot because I kind of got tired of gaming and I needed a break from Bloodborne. So yeah,
I don't blame you.
I haven't beat the Bloodstarved Beast yet, but I haven't really tried that much either.
Yeah.
I've been told by several people to keep going, that it's like the hump until I get to like the good part. So I got to keep going. But no, I've been working on cosplay, a Final Fantasy cosplay at the moment, and then I did not.
What character?
Yeah, what are you cosplaying as?
Lise. So the monk that's along the Final Fantasy story.
And Stormblood.
Nice.
Yeah, and Stormblood.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I thought that would be a good character to do. Because I need a break from Boba Fett because I'm kind of stuck on his jetpack. So.
Ah, man.
Yeah. So. I don't know. That's sort of what I've been doing. I haven't been gaming a lot just because I need something else to do. And then RTX happened, so I went and checked out RTX. And
Hey, what is RTX? I don't know anything about this.
I mean, if you're a huge fan of Rooster Teeth, it's absolutely great. It's just great.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Rooster Teeth. But if
That's
you
the RTX.
don't really know Rooster Teeth, then it's all right. It's like 90% merch booths. So 5% gaming and then 5% like competition. Plus they're like, Rooster Teeth panels and whatnot.
Mm.
Interesting.
It's all right. I go there and buy a lot of plushies. You can drink and walk around. It's great. So.
And everybody has their own con these days.
Yeah, assholes.
Oh, seriously, who would hold a convention just for themselves? Rooster Teeth, I feel like I lost track of them after like just a bunch of Halo machinima back at the beginning, and then they do more things, I guess, than that. They're not just a Halo machinima.
No, they do a lot
Yeah.
more than that, and
they have an anime. That's right.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They have an anime. They have a lot of stuff now. I
That's
saw
cool.
Red vs. Blue, but that's about all I've seen. But they built within it. They built like their own panic room. Or whatever, the puzzle rooms that you have to
like
get
an escape room? or whatever?
It's not panic room, sorry, escape room. And it was like 30 minutes long. It was pretty interesting. So, and me and my group managed to get out with like 1 minute left. So. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to hang out with people, but it's one of those, like, I'm in Austin, that's why I go. Otherwise, I probably would never go. So.
Yeah, I live in Canada and we never have anything fun here. So I have to go to Seattle for any of that. But I feel you.
People keep saying, come to Canada, come do stuff in Canada. 1 year.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh.
CanCon.
There were VIP
CanCon.
So you could buy VIP tickets, and they were $550 a piece, and they sold out of them.
Nice.
And they sold apparently like, what, 60,000 tickets, I think is what JP just said. Like, overall, not just VIP. And it's like, they're doing great. It seems like they're doing great.
That's because there's so many things under their umbrella now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they just, every time something's awesome, they come in and they're like, snatch, and they grab it, and they're geniuses.
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth guys are smart.
I just want an audio clip of you saying snatch in that tone again.
Snatch. Oh.
Perfect. Thank you, Jesse.
Can I just say, I also want to let you know that watching Dodger's face as she continued to examine that website.
I can't look at this anymore. I can't look at this anymore. I'm closing it.
Stop. Yeah, I had to quit.
Yeah, it's a thing. Thank you for coming back to us from the future of football. But feel free to dig around in there. God. Yeah. So that's been the jam for me, is that thing, and I'm really happy that none of you had seen it before. Definitely keep looking at it. I was looking
July 76, and it just I had to close it. It got too fucky.
Yeah,
it starts adding videos and stuff as you go.
Oh yeah, once you get to the video part, I was like, what the hell is this?
I'm out.
No, it gets weird.
I'm not smart enough for this shit. I'm out.
All right. Well, let's do something a little less intelligent. Let's play Nebula Jazz. Let's get weird.
That I can do.
So where would y'all like to begin? Where shall we start? Everybody's scattered across the stars, attending their business.
I'm on my way to Rex and Eugene. Right.
Yeah, you've stolen the Houdini, right? You've made off with the Houdini.
Right. Yes. Okay, I remember now. Okay, so I'm on my way. I guess I'll go after them.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think we should start with Rex and his new buddy Virgil, the Shark Boys on an adventure.
Right.
And I believe that the two of you are looking for Thuja, right? It's a bounty on her head, and you've headed your way over to Dead End, which is a sort of area of the universe where one might go when one needs to hide out. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm curious to know what you're doing in advance of your arrival, Rex, because Virgil seems to think that the two of you will be able to, just head to the planet, find Thuja and apprehend her. But I want to know if there's anything. I guess we fade in on Virgil's ship as the ship is heading down towards Dead End, and you have this signal, right? You've scanned the planet. It's incredibly dangerous sci-fi trope planet. Volcanic activity. We talked about how it dead ends itself every once in a while. So we're on a cycle.
2 days, it has like a rolling sandstorm that just kills everything. So we've got like a timer on the ship.
Right. That's right.
Like
yeah.
7 hours left or something.
Yeah. So that would be the title, right? So we see you flying in, and we get the subtitle, like Planet Dead End, time to apocalypse, 14 hours, and you're flying in. So when we fade into the ship, when we transition there, where do we see Rex? Are you like preparing your gear? Are you just hanging out?
Rex is just like holding the top of the captain's seat, and he's just kind of like looking over Virgil's shoulder as they like descend into the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Virgil's looking at all the environment warnings and stuff on the instruments panel, and he's got his sort of his combat suit on. It's a kind of like a armored suit with plates on it, and then a few like a utility belt and a bandolier with some weapons. And he's maybe doing like a last check on a laser rifle or something like that. And so he looks up at you and then back down at the planet as you approach. The ship's on autopilot, and he says, "So, what do we need to know about this Thuja?"
You mean you haven't done your research?
He laughs and he says like, I'm no amateur. I mean, I have all the information, but you know this woman. I mean, really know her. And he kind of gives you the Shark Boy equivalent of like a eyebrow, like, I know about you.
Look, kid, she's a huntress, all right? You're not going to take her down unless she's unconscious. And we're not going to bring her back on the ship unless she's unconscious and in binds. So that's about all there is to it. No negotiation to be had here.
So he's grinning. You can see his sharky teeth, and he's like, never tangled with a huntress before. Sounds exciting. But if she's as dangerous as you say, maybe we need to play this clever? You thinking some kind of reverse honeypot situation?
Rex does an audible chortle and leans back and folds his arms and goes, "No dice. We're not on good terms, buddy."
And he turns around and he puts his hands up like he's kind of surprised. He's like, "What? You? I mean, from what I heard, you could seduce the pants off of Blornax, all right? I'm sure one little huntress. Plus, besides, I'm sure if she's mad at you, it's just going to make it easier, from what I've heard about Agarans." And he gives you another, like, yeah.
Rex just, like, kind of bounces up off the back of the seat. And as he walks past, he just pats him on the shoulder. And he says, "You've got no idea." And then just, like, hits the exit button. And you see, like, the back of the ship just descend into the sand.
So you're coming down on the planet. I imagine this planet is signaling with all of its strength, like, this is a dangerous planet. So, there's like blue magma like flowing, and I'm thinking like, heavy winds blowing at your clothes. There's these sort of chunks of earth surrounded by this glowing blue magma, maybe like arcs of lightning, and then a sort of stormy background. The planet doesn't have any visible atmosphere, but we don't care. We don't care about that kind of shit. You can still breathe. So there's this howling outside, and he comes up behind you, Virgil, and he puts his hand on your shoulder, and he says, "So what's the plan, big guy?" And he kind of has to shout over the howling wind.
Yeah, Rex kind of like pulls his goggles down over his eyes and like fixes his mask and kind of leans back, and he just points at like this device in Virgil's hand and just goes, "Follow the dot."
Yeah, right. So you look down and there's the an obvious like sci-fi trackery thing where he's holding it. It's like pinging, and there's a little yellow dot blinking. And so the two of you, I think he pulls up a hood, and the two of you head out into the swirling waste.
Cool.
So we fade out on the ship and fade up again on the two of you making your way across this sort of trackless wasteland. And I think that we can see in the distance a big mountain, like a big black kind of basalt mountain. It's obviously a volcano. It's shooting blue magma into space. There's clouds of smoke. And we can see on the side of it, there's some kind of dark gray, like not a tent, but like some kind of prefab structure that's been built in the shadow of this thing, and we can see it in the kind of ambient light. And then there's a familiar looking, obviously Agaran ship planted next to it. What's your intent? Do you want to just approach straight up, or do you want to do you want to like sneak up to the camp? What's the plan here?
Rex, for the most part, is letting Virgil take the lead, but he makes it clear that a sneak attack's probably not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So.
Yeah, so maybe this is happening. Like he's put away, or he's putting away in his satchel, putting away the tracker, and he points up to the hill, and he nods, and he's like, "It's a Garin for sure." And he hands you his binoculars, so you like can kind of look at it.
Have a look.
We can see it. Yeah, we can see it. And there's some unintelligible characters on the binoculars as you zoom in. And
kind of hands it back, and he's like, "That's hers, all right."
Yeah, and he says, "Should I be worried we don't see any guards?"
No, she doesn't use guards.
he kind of looks at you suspiciously, like you're kind of going a little gung ho on this, and he's a little worried about. Do you have like? I'm curious as a GM, like, do you have a plan here? Are you trying to like lead this guy into danger, or?
I think the idea was that Rex realized this was initially in the bar. Rex realized this would be an opportunity to meet back up with Thuja, and he's using Virgil completely. Yeah,
sure. Okay. So. All right. I think at this point Virgil is getting a bit suspicious. So let's see if you can keep his suspicion down, right? So you're like, don't worry about it. What did you say to him? You're like, there's no guards. Why shouldn't he?
She doesn't travel with guards.
Right. She just fights alone. Okay.
Yeah. She is the guard.
All right. Let's have you roll to see if you can keep this a secret. Right. So roll your sneaky. Well, that's, and then I'll roll his careful, and we'll see. Okay. Let's see who wins. Ooh. Oh, nice. Got a 4 on your sneaky. Ooh, it's a tie. All right. So Virgil got a 4, and you got a 4. Do you have an aspect that you would like to call on here?
I don't have. What happens on a tie?
On a tie, for a overcome, I think the jam is that let's see, you'll succeed. So he won't be suspicious, but there'll be a minor cost. Some kind of complication will occur.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
No, I can still spend. I have 1 point to spend.
Okay.
Because the scene is just the two of you. So I am going to spend it. So if you want to tie, you can spend 1. But okay, he has an aspect for being suspicious. So
I'll spend 1 to tie up then.
Okay. All right. So what aspect are you using?
I'm going to use the aspect of my daring outlaw Sharkanoid. I'm like playing this cool, and I'm so confident in my approach that he knows I've done this before, or at least he feels like I've done this before.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's less me leading him into a trap and more me just being grossly overconfident in my own ability.
Right. So the idea here is that you're playing up the, like, you brought me along on this because I'm this way, so you should trust me and do it. Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. So I guess he gestures like up the hill, like, oh, after you.
Race just like nods and like just starts like climbing the hill. So they're on like a ridge that's like parallel to the ship.
Okay.
And I guess he just like starts approaching the ship. Like the wind is crazy. His trench coat is like almost horizontal at this point. And hands in his pockets. He's just kind of like strolling towards the ship.
Yeah, so this is very much a sort of like Mount Doom Genesis planet situation where we see the two of you climbing, and it's not like you're falling or stumbling or anything, but it's clearly it's hard going, right? Like Virgil's going a little slower than you, climbing up this thing, but he has his weapon clenched in his hand. You can see he's ready for a fight, and and as you approach you just start walking up towards the structure. I think that are you in the lead?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're just confidently like strolling up. I think that what happens is we see a cut shot of the two of you, of your legs of yours climbing. So the shale kind of scattering down these black rocks. And we see your foot pass through a thin blue like beam, like a tripwire, and then there's suddenly a high-pitched whining sound, and in front of you, the shale something pops up out of the ground, like jumps up in the air. What do? You have like a second to react.
Jump at
it. Like on top of it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, why not? Okay. So you hurl yourself on top of the landmine that leaps up out of the ground. I think that Virgil like shields his eyes and turns away, and we hear a bright flash of white light and a boom. I guess let's have you like resist the hit. So
That's so
go ahead
daring.
Yeah, it's incredibly daring. Let's have you make I'm not going to roll to attack. Let's have you defend against like a level 6 effect. So you throw yourself on the proverbial grenade, and I think in this case it's quick, right? It might not be the smartest move, but your speed is the thing that matters here.
Okay.
All right. So you need to deal with a consequence of level 2. So either you take I think that since you're not in combat with this thing, this will be just like a wound. You have to take take your level 2 wound, or you can spend your last point to get rid of that.
I'll take the wound.
You take a consequence. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you want to call this consequence? Like slightly blown up. The boy is mine. Yeah. What do you think? Because basically, what happens is you throw yourself on this grenade and it goes off, but you absorb most of the blast.
The boy's mine's fine.
Okay. All right. So this represents both like you getting blown up and like Thuja and your relationship to a degree. Okay. So I'll make a note of that on your sheet for you. Well, shout out to 90s R&B there. Virgil, we see the flash. Virgil like looks away, and we see him peer back, maybe expecting to see like chunks of Rex all over the place. But we don't. We see instead what? Are you like lying on the ground all smoking?
This isn't the first time Rex has seen like a Huntress landmine, and he realizes that they have like a very particular Eye of the Storm effect, where if you get right on top of it, then it's like the minimum amount of damage. So he's kind of like, you can see him, he's clearly like winded on the ground. The end of his trench coat has like been disintegrated. It's all like tattered and stuff, where he like a near miss occurred. And you can tell like just like the blast effect has like rattled him. So he just looks disheveled and dirty, and he's like coughing.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you have an opportunity here to, I don't know, put the whammy on Virgil. Like if you want to impress him, or like, I guess, do you just shrug it off and keep walking, or do you take a minute to be like, yeah, see?
Yeah, he just kind of like looks at him and kind of like gives him the thumbs up, and just like almost like a groaning old man, kind of like climbs to one knee and then the other knee, and he gets back up, and he kind of looks at him and is like, that would have killed a normal person.
Let's have you make a roll. You're being flashy. Let's call it difficulty 3, and if you succeed, you can have a boost, right? You're creating an aspect about how obviously tough and cool Rex is.
Okay.
Okay, so you got a 2. Do you want to spend that last point?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right, and what? There's a few aspects you could use here, but which one do you want to?
Compellingly heroic.
Yeah, right. So he looks at you, and yeah, you get it. We get a moment of where he kind of like, for the first time, because he's been kind of like you, like he's been boasting a lot and kind of trying to be or trying to seem tough, and then he just watched you basically eat a grenade, and
whoa, damn.
Yeah, his little protective shark eyelids blink a couple of times, and he gives you a grim nod, and he says, he's like, not too bad, old man, and then looks up at the system or at the prefab ahead of you. What do you want to call your boost here?
Am I getting a boost die?
You'll get one. It's like one free aspect as long as you're kind of still in pursuit of Thuja.
Okay.
Something about you being like impressive or cool or tough. A way to kind of show that you've established your unafraid attitude.
What's yours is mine.
Ah, nice. Okay. So you're here to fucking kick ass and take names.
Yeah. And Rex kind of like dusts himself off, and he goes, "Well, I ain't taking another one of those for you, so open your eyes."
All right. So he looks up, and you're not too far. You're maybe like a dozen meters away from the structure, and there isn't doesn't seem to be any sign of life, at least around here. So I think the two of you, we see you continue up the hill. And the next scene we see is this prefab structure. So I imagine kind of like a lunar, like lander module type thing, like a big geodesic dome made predominantly out of silver and black metal. There's like a foil kind of around this dome structure, and it's flapping in the wind. It's got a kind of like zippered opening in one end, and that's sitting on the ground, anchored by a bunch of wire so that it doesn't blow away. Kind of like a big high-tech tent. And then immediately next to it, almost invisible against the starry sky and the shale of the mountainside, you can see an Agaran scout ship. It's a little like 2-man fighter, and it's sitting just like idle on the mountainside. And yeah, there's no evidence of Thuja's presence.
Okay, Rex kind of like lowers his tone and he's like, "There's no way she didn't hear that, so guns at the ready."
Yeah, and Virgil nods and holds up his weapon and nods with his head towards the entrance, and he goes to like cover you.
Okay. Rex kind of like shimmies up to the entrance and then like takes point, almost like insinuating Virgil to like overtake him and go in the entrance.
Right. So you get up beside it and like go to open it so he can go in.
Yeah.
Okay. He reaches into his vest and he pulls out some kind of handheld explosive device. It's a yay long, covered in spikes, and he's holding the end of it. And there's a ring, and he reaches up to like pull it. He's gonna throw it inside when you open the door.
Okay.
What do you do?
Rex like shakes his head like, "Don't do that."
He gives you a look, kind of like what? Like he doesn't understand.
He does like a "you don't want to do that" kind of thing.
I love the like pantomime here because the wind is really loud and you're trying to be quiet. And he like looks at the grenade like, "Can you see this thing? I'm gonna fuck shit up with this. Come on, let's go." He points at the grenade.
Rex again just shakes his head like this. You
shrugs.
can't really see his face because like the goggles and the
right,
mask.
Yeah,
and the wind.
yeah, exactly.
He just shakes his head
He's got his hood up and his glasses. So yeah, he points at the grenade and he makes it like a throwing gesture, like you don't understand what he wants to do with it. Like, I'm gonna throw it in there. Come on, open the door.
Rex kind of like stands up with his hands on his hips and like throws his arms out, like, "I said no," and he's just like shaking his head.
He holds the grenade out to you, like, "Do you want to do it?"
Rex like motions for the grenade.
Okay, so he nods and he comes over and he gives it to you, and then he points his gun at the door and he like goes to get ready. He gestures for you to go stand where he was standing.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Right.
Okay. So you
position.
You awkwardly shuffle around so you're the grenade guy and he's the door opening guy. All right. Yeah. So he like nods at you. He's probably thinking like, "Man, we should have talked this out in advance." So he reaches up and there's a kind of like electric chair style like switch that'll activate the airlock. And he with his free hands, he's got his gun in one hand and his other hand up, and he goes, and then he pulls the switch and the door iris is open with a hiss. There's a bunch of sort of steam as the atmospheres adjust. What do you do?
Rex like looks at him and like he's like, you can tell Virgil's like super jacked up, like he's ready to go in, and he kind of just chucks the grenade over his shoulder and just like pulls out his pistol and just like slowly walks in.
Oh, that's perfect. So before you get a chance to go in, you throw the grenade over your shoulder. And we notice, and Rex notices, you don't hear it hit the ground. You don't hear it like clatter to the ground.
Yeah.
And when you turn to look, your cheek like right into the barrel of a gun. And sorry, you something to contribute?
I want to compel.
Okay.
Yo, yes. Good call. Good call.
I want to compel Rex. The second he feels like the gun against his face, inside he's like, "Oh, cool, found her." And then goes to shoot the other shark dude.
Which aspect?
Like, all right,
which
cool.
aspect?
I'm done with you. Le Freak, chicks before dicks.
Right. I think that's fair.
Just shoot that guy. take him down. He's, you're done.
The time has come.
Wait, I want to see how this plays out. That requires pulling the blaster pistol out.
He already has it out.
He does have his gun in his hand because he had it in his other hand.
Oh, I thought he switched it out for the grenade. Oh, never.
He had the grenade in one hand and the gun in the other.
Gotcha. Okay.
And look, if that's Thuja with a gun against his face, she's gonna be so turned on that he just killed a dude.
If it's Thuja.
If it's Thuja.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have any points, so you can't outright say no. But if that doesn't sound egregious to you in any way, that's what happens.
I have to do it anyway, right?
But you get to describe what it looks like, Rex. So
yeah.
you feel the cold textile of the barrel of a gun against your pretty gray face, and and your first thought is like, oh, there's Thuja. What do you do?
Rex kind of, you see him smirk a little bit, but you can't really tell because of the mask. You just see his cheekbones rise, and he's just like, no hard feelings, kid. And then goes to put his hands up, but as he does, he just fires one into the chest of Virgil.
All right, so we're gonna need to make several rolls here. You shooting Virgil, the person with the gun shooting you, and Virgil also doing a thing. So this is all gonna be quick, obviously. So let's get our quick draw McGraw on here. I will roll first for Virgil, and this is just going to determine who gets to go in what order, because it's basically it's not a whole combat; it's just one action.
Yeah.
So let me roll for Virgil. Okay, and I have one fate point in the scene. Okay, so Virgil's got a 3. I will roll the quickness of this other person, and I won't use their character sheet because I don't want to reveal who it is just yet. Okay, and then you can go ahead and roll your quick as well.
Okay.
Okay, so you shoot unless you want to I'm gonna spend points here. I want it to go. I'm gonna spend my 2 on my point on Virgil. So it'll go 5, 4, 3. Unless you want to spend yours, then it'll go you, Virgil, then the person.
Could I arguably use my +2 in 1-on-1 combat, given that I'm only fighting the guy in front of me?
This is really more of a gunfight situation, like a Wild West quick draw, rather than a
all right, cool.
fight.
I'll use my point then.
Okay.
I'll invoke my daring outlaw.
Right, you're used to this kind of
Wild West standoff
kind of Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we see is this moment where you feel the gun against your face, and there's a second, and then all of a sudden 3 consecutive very fast shots. You go first, so why don't you take a shot at Virgil?
Okay.
I will oppose with his quickness. And I don't think either way this will end up as a fight. But if you win, he'll be down and have been shot, not necessarily dead.
Okay. So
he's gonna try and dodge.
Wow.
Okay, so you go to shoot it at Virgil. Virgil dodges out of the way, and then he shoots at you. So same thing but backwards. So I'll roll quick, and you roll
quick.
You roll quick as well. Yeah, a lot of contest. Right. Okay, so exactly the same. So you shoot Virgil. Virgil shoots at you. Both of you dodge out of the way, and then the person with the pistol shoots in the air. So you hear her gun go and fire, and it's quite loud. We hear it over the wind and everything.
Yeah.
And you both turn to look at her.
I love the idea that he rolls left, I roll right, and then we end up in a triangle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you're just long guns at each other. She fires in the air to get everybody's attention, and we get the slow pan across. We see she's wearing a long kind of ragged black cloak. It's fluttering in the apocalyptic wind. We see her limbed in this blue light from the magma that she's kind of standing with her booted feet over. And we kind of get a pan up her sort of Barbarella style sexy space princess jumpsuit. It's got a big zipper up the middle. It's the hybrid. It's the princess. Her long, perfect hair fluttering dramatically in the wind. Her golden skin catching the light of the magma. and she has like a bit of a sneer on her face, and she points it at both of you, and she's like, "Boys, let's all behave ourselves." And she like kind of grins at you, Rex. She's like kind of like gestures for you to put your guns up.
Rex like has his hands up. She's like, "Yes, ma'am." And you see him like let go of his gun, and it kind of like slides down his index finger and kind of just hangs there loose.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll take a half second here to remind everybody that Rex, as the result of an earlier roll, deep down, despite all of his other business, is desperately in love with this princess, whether he's willing to admit it or not. Also, Let's point out that Sam has no fate points. So if anyone wants to jump in, get ready to do so. So you let go of the gun. And Virgil, I think Virgil is still kind of like pointing it back and forth between the two of you, and he doesn't know this person. You can see on his face he doesn't recognize her. He doesn't know who she is. He thinks that she's just another Mingasi. So he points the gun. You can tell he's pissed at you for trying to shoot him, but he points the gun at her, and he says, "Where's the Agaran?"
Rex like interjects, and he's like, "I wouldn't do that, kid."
And he turns and he snaps at you. He's like, "We'll deal with you in a second," and turns back to her. And she's holding the grenade in her other hand because she caught it, right? She was behind you. And she says, "Nobody has to die here." And it's like kind of pointing the gun. Like both of them are like quite tense.
Is her gun like on him now?
It moves back and forth between the two of you, but does tend to lean towards him. The thing here is that the Princess Adina, she only met you for a moment. She knows you ate her brother, and also she's probably spent the last like several weeks hearing Thuja talk shit about you and your friends because you did kind of fuck them both over. So it's not like she's your best bud or anything, but she knows you and doesn't know him.
In this moment, Rex is going to consult the Mingasi prince.
Okay, you want to use your...
Yeah, I'm going to summon him.
Okay, so what goes from being three people, and I think in this moment, the other two characters kind of fade out, and we can imagine that this tense standoff continues to occur. But we hear the crunching of the stone, and kind of in like slow motion time, right? Like they don't notice this is happening. You have a moment. We see the prince also looking like decidedly handsome, and maybe this is something we get this look where the two of them are contrasted, and you can definitely tell they're related, right? And the prince looks.
I'd like to compel.
Okay, sure.
I want to compel Rex that he's going to ask the prince for dating advice and how to impress her.
Right, that's the focus of his question?
Yeah, that's the focus of the question, is asking how he's going to impress his sister.
I feel like I
say no, can he?
No, he cannot.
I was kind of going in that direction anyway.
Yeah, which is great. Good for you.
Okay.
But I have to, because I think I know, but because of the rules, I have to ask which aspect are you compelling?
Oh God, what is it called? I don't have his character sheet open.
Is it Le Freak?
Yeah, Le Freak, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I kept thinking something else completely wrong, but I did. Yeah,
Okay.
Le Freak, obviously.
So what we see is him kind of step into frame as if from nowhere, and from Rex's point of view, we see the two of them. He's in focus, she's slightly out of focus, and the focal plane of the shot shifts to her, and she has this kind of stern, like slightly volcano smudged look to her. Her hair is like all shampoo commercialing in the wind. She's got a smear of ash where she's like tried to rub some like cinder off of her face. She looks like hot and dangerous. But we still see her brother in the foreground, like blurry, and he lifts his hand. He's like, hey, and then the shot like dramatically cuts back to him. The focus shifts back to him, and he looks at you, and he's like, yeah, that's my sister, buddy.
He's like, fuck, help me out. I need to say something cool. What's something only you would know? I don't know. I have to impress her.
He says, he's like, you get in a gunfight with a bounty hunter, and the only known hybrid
preach to
in the
me
entire
later.
universe.
Tell me something.
And this
only
is
you
what
would
you
know.
ask me? Like, he shakes his head. He's like, he sighs. He looks at her, and he puts his arm around you. And now we see the two of you. And what does Rex's kind of like lovelorn face look like? Because he's like kind of a little annoyed, but it's like, I'm gonna help you out, buddy. So he puts his arm around you and it's kind of like, talking to her. But what does your face look like in this?
Rex
scene?
has like no grasp on the danger around him at all.
Sure, of
this
course.
is like his focus. So like he's like leaning to the left and looking at the prince, but like to the other two people in this triangle, he's actually just started monologuing and speaking to himself, and he's like looking, and there's just no one next to him, and they're just like so confused, like, what the fuck is he doing? And he's like, tell me something. She would know. Come on, help me out.
Mumbling.
Yeah. They're like, what?
Yeah. So he says, buddy, I've been in your head long enough to know the way you normally handle these situations, and I can tell you right now, that's not going to work. I mean, with Thuja, maybe all the bravado and the gunplay and then the biting, but and he gestures, and we can see Virgil and the princess in a sort of standoff, and he says to you, he says, that's not going to fly with her. My sister's a classy lady, Rex.
All right.
You need to impress her with, charm and class and culture. The Mingasi are raised on the best literature and theater and music in the universe.
All right, look, save me the fucking sub story. We're in a desert in an apocalyptic planet right now, and I need something to say to her, so you're either going to help me out, or what are you even doing here?
So, yeah, he says to you, he's like, look, I'm only the genetic memory of some bad meal you had, so I don't have all the information you think I do, but I can tell you this, the Mingasi are the height of universal culture. So if you want to impress my sister over there, you're going to need to step it up a notch. The violent stuff, I always had servants for that. And he kind of looks at you and he says, show her there's more to you than just space mercenary, all right?
Yeah, Rex.
Yeah, Rex.
So I think as he fades away, we see a look, the kind of look of like, oh God, what am I gonna do on Rex's face? And we'll give Sam a few minutes. We'll take a break, and when we get back, we can see how Rex gets himself out of this situation. Don't go anywhere. We got lots more Nebula jazz coming at you right after this.